with Reverend Jack Elliott. Beyond Limits invites you to chart your own spiritual path so that you may stand in your authenticity and live a full and vibrant life. Now, here is Reverend Jack with this week's program.
Good afternoon. I am so glad that you joined me this week and that you are a part of this program. Many of you will be watching this in what is the week before Christmas, or it might be the week before Kwanzaa for you, or however you are celebrating the holidays this season. I wish you the happiest of holidays. The talk this week is the journey home, because the journey home this time of year can be something that a lot of people look forward to and other people dread. But there's an obligation to have to do it. So, what I want to remind you of this week is that you have all that is required to make this experience, this journey home, a magical one for you. And we're going to use the teachings of science of mind and spirit to support us in this journey. If you don't know what science of mind and spirit is, it is a faith, a philosophy, a way of living that gets you from where you are to where you want to be. You know, the journey home is really a metaphor for creating a safe sanctuary. For many people this time of year, creating a safe sanctuary means surrounding themselves with their own circle of friends, with their chosen family. That may be what it is that you're called to do. And I want to empower you because in this teaching, I'm empowering you to live a dynamic life. I'm empowering you to use these tools, these lessons, to take what you want to do and to thrive in your authenticity when you do it. So, if you make the decision that it's not safe for you to go to your biological family's home, or if you feel that you're only going out of an obligation and it's more of a burden, give yourself permission not to go. Give yourself permission to decide that if this was my ideal day, how would I experience it? What is it that I want to do? Many people feel that what is safest for them is to be in service to others on this day. Perhaps you are called to volunteer at a kitchen where food is being served. Maybe you're called to be at a clothing mission and to put packages together for children for this holiday. Do what you feel called to do. Also, I'm going to call upon you to let go of any expectation of how you think you should do the holiday and to do it correctly. What do I mean by that? Well, here's what I mean by that. A few years ago, I had the experience of getting up early on Christmas morning and preparing the breakfast that I prepare for my family. One of my traditions are the fresh cinnamon rolls on a Sunday morning before we open presents. Well, one of the things that I realized in my journey is that I had forgotten to get cream for my coffee as I prepared that breakfast. So I found myself getting in the car about 6:30 in the morning and driving across town to that 7-Eleven that I knew that would be open that I could buy milk to get the coffee. As I was going through the city and driving, it was kind of a rainy day, a little bit of foggy, and I could see something going on in the street ahead of me. Now, I have to say, I was probably the only car on the street at that particular moment in time. So I could see that it would be safe for somebody to be playing in the street, if you will, if that's what they felt called to do. But as I got closer and closer and closer to this large intersection, I realized that it was a man and a little girl, and the little girl was in a shopping cart. Just the day before, I had experienced this man at a homeless shelter, so I knew him to be homeless. What I didn't know is that he was a father and had a child in his care. And I was about to go into angst and anxiety of seeing them there on Christmas morning at that time of morning by themselves. And then I heard the little girl's laughter. In fact, the laughter just pierced its way through the fog that I was driving through, and I could see that they were having a magical, fun experience as he pushed her in the cart and they made figure eights in the intersection. The laughter, the giddiness, the happiness was so pervasive that I just knew they were having a magical Christmas morning. They were having a moment that she was going to experience for the rest of her life with her father about the happiness that they shared on that day. And I thought about how I had gone through such anxiety about wondering if I had purchased the right gifts to make my godson happy. Had I done the right thing in order to make the guests that were coming over later in the day, would they be pleased with the food? And I let all of that go in that moment because I knew that that man was teaching me about the authenticity of love. And I knew that that man was teaching me about the authenticity of doing whatever is required to bring happiness to the moment. He did that. He was bringing a moment of joy to his child's life. He was being the demonstration of happiness. He was doing what was required to create a fun experience so that she would have that memory for the rest of her life. I was forever changed by that story. I was forever changed by that moment that I had to sneak out and get cream for my coffee. Here's how I know it was an experience that I was meant to have. When I picked up the creamer, got back in the car and drove home and opened the refrigerator to put the creamer away, the full carton that I had purchased the day before was there. I just hadn't seen it earlier that morning. So I was supposed to witness that man. I was supposed to have that experience on that day. I ask that you be open to the experiences that you're going to have this week on your journey home, on your way to creating this magical moment for yourself. Now, if you have any angst about the conversation that's going to happen around the dinner table, I'm going to plant a little seed that I'd like for you to remember. And that seed is this: you are not powerful enough to change anyone else's mind. So if you're going to have a conversation with that uncle about his politics, know going in, there is nothing that you have that you can say that will change his mind. Instead, I invite you to take another approach, to shift the energy, to be the demonstration of what it is that you want to feel. Simply acknowledge the other person. Simply say, I hear you. Listen to you working it out. Thank you for being so discernful about this. Be willing to hear their point of view. Have no expectation of shifting that point of view. Now, if you want to know how that shift might happen, it's when they see you being the demonstration of happiness. If you come to that dinner table laughing, feeling good, being grateful for everything despite how you might decide the world looks right now, others will wonder how you got to such a place. Others will be curious about, well, why are you so happy? Why do you feel content? Aren't you watching the news? Then you have the opportunity to share your story. And remember what it is that we talk about when we talk about sharing our story. When you come from your authenticity in your story, you're not sharing the drama of your story. You're sharing the solution to how you got out of the drama. You're sharing your story about the lesson learned from this experience. You're sharing how you got from where you were to where you are right now, and that it's a good thing. then you'll find others will be asking you, well, tell me more about that. Tell me more about that. And if you have to put up with a naysayer that's going to insist that you come around to their point of view, simply say, thank you for caring enough to want me to come to that point of view. I don't. I'm very content in what I've chosen for myself. So let's expand the conversation to find something that we can agree upon. Let's expand the conversation to be about what we know will make us happy. Our friends in the Unity movement, Unity International, have this phrase that they use, in the essentials, unity, which means that you can expand your consciousness enough to find the common good. So what you might say is, what we all can agree upon is how happy all the children look today. What we can agree upon is that we have food on this table and that we're celebrating the abundance of being together as a family. Focus on what's working. Focus on the good, and you will have an opportunity to really shift the energy in that conversation. Be open to see the gift in everything. I'm reminded at this time of year, about family. And I remember a conversation, one of those times as a child when I first realized I'm called to teach some stuff. My mother was kind of sad around Christmas. In fact, she was depressed. And as a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, I never quite fully understood why she was sad, because I was happy. Santa Claus was coming. Santa Claus was going to be there the next morning. Why is she crying? And one night, I remember it was Christmas Eve and I had already gone to bed, and I heard her sobbing down the hall. And so I just got up and I went to her and said, why are you crying? And she looked at me and she said, I'm crying because I could never give you a normal Christmas. And I said to her, that little teacher within me said, this is my normal. I'm quite happy. This is my normal. I don't know what you're talking about. And she shared with me that she felt guilty that my father was not in our life and that I didn't have a normal experience of Christmas. What she failed to understand is that I had a pretty terrific picture of normal. My normal had a very benevolent older brother who would take the blanket and put it over the space heater so it would be nice and warm when he would wrap me up in that blanket and carry me up to bed that night, telling me about Santa Claus. My normal was having a brother that loved me so much that on Christmas morning he knew that the first thing that I needed to do before I saw what Santa Claus brought was to go to the bathroom. So he would cover my eyes and blindfold me, rush me into the bathroom to take care of business, and then we'd wash up, and then he would take me out and pull his hands from away from my eyes so that I could see the magic of the Christmas tree and the gifts that lay beneath it. That was my normal. That was my experience, like the little girl had in the shopping cart, to say, this is a magical day. I was sharing that story later on in life about, my brother and how good that felt. And my mom told me, she said, what you also need to know, there was a reason why we had to put the Christmas tree in a corner. Because your brother wanted you to have a tree. So he went to the Christmas tree lot and bought a tree with his allowance and drug it home because it was too big for him to carry. When we got it home, all the needles were off of one side of the Christmas tree. But in order to make it okay for my brother, my mother put the tree in the corner so no one could see the bad side of the tree. So she and I got to laugh and realize that normal is what you create it to be. And if you are open to seeing the gifts in everything, the journey home can be an opportunity to make memories, to have new experiences, and to have a blessed holiday experience. So, with that, I say happy holidays to you. May this holiday season unfold and bring you blessings that you never expected. May you be so blessed with happiness and laughter that joy surrounds you this holiday season. See the happiness in everything. Choose to see all the good that there is this holiday season. And then write me. Let me know about it. Share your story with me. Share your story with our other viewers when we talk about it in the next several weeks. Tell me how you transcended what you thought would be a negative experience and have it turn into be a magical experience. Because your experience will be the demonstration that will show someone else how to get from where they are to where they want to be. What an awesome gift to give someone this holiday season. So happy holidays. Thank you for watching. And know I care less about what you're thinking. I just want to know that you're thinking. So this time, think beyond the limits. Choose happiness. Choose to have a happy holiday. And we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching Beyond Limits with Reverend Jack Elliott. If you enjoyed today's program, we invite you to share it with your friends. If you'd like to be surrounded by like-minded people charting their own spiritual path, you're invited to join Reverend Jack and the community known as the Central Valley Center for Spiritual Living. Central Valley CSL is located at 723 West Central Avenue between West and Fruit Streets in Fresno, California. If you have questions for Reverend Jack, email him at revjack@centralvalleycsl.org. Thanks for watching. Happy holidays.
This is important news for people who have been exposed to the weed killer Roundup in commercial settings and later developed non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. According to the World Health Organization's research on cancer, the active ingredient in the weed killer Roundup, glyphosate, can cause cancers such as non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. If you or a loved one were exposed to Roundup in a commercial setting such as farming, landscaping, or golf course maintenance, and then developed non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, you could be eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. If you or a loved one were exposed to the weed killer Roundup and were then diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, call the law offices of Davis and Crump right now to see if you are eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Our first consultation is free, and we don't get paid unless you get paid. Call now. Operators are standing by.
Attention all timeshare owners. Were you a victim of a high-pressure or dishonest timeshare sales agent? Were you misled and confused by what you were buying? Did the timeshare fail to deliver what you were promised? Do you feel that you overpaid and just won out? If you answered yes to any of these questions, we can help. We're Timeshare Compliance, and every day we help hundreds of timeshare victims protect their rights, and we can help you too. Our team can legally terminate your timeshare agreement, ending the payments forever, saving you thousands. But you must act now. Call now for a free consultation. With one simple call, the professionals at Timeshare Compliance can legally terminate your timeshare agreement and help end your financial suffering. You could save thousands. So call now before another payment is due. Timeshare Compliance is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Don't wait.
Call 800-455-0830. 800-455-0830.
Attention all timeshare owners. Were you a victim of a high-pressure or dishonest timeshare sales agent? Were you misled and confused by what you were buying? Did the timeshare fail to deliver what you were promised? Do you feel that you overpaid and just won out? If you answered yes to any of these questions, we can help. We're Timeshare Compliance, and every day we help hundreds of timeshare victims protect their rights, and we can help you too. Our team can legally terminate your timeshare agreement, ending the payments forever, saving you thousands. But you must act now. Call now for a free consultation. With one simple call, the professionals at Timeshare Compliance can legally terminate your timeshare agreement and help end your financial suffering. You could save thousands. So call now before another payment is due. Timeshare Compliance is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Don't wait.
Call 800-455-0830. 800-455-0830.